I live in the most developed county of southern England in the castle of Winchester. My name is Duke Edwin II of Wessex. I am 20 years old. I believe in treating my God-given body well, through frequent feasts and routine hunts. During the summer, if my vassals are getting out of hand, I like to hold a public execution of some low-born criminals. I have killed 200 by now. If I am feeling extra generous, I like to host a pilgrimage with my court in attendance. For my stress, I spend some time writing poetry, then some disturbing confessions, then a good training session around my farmlands. A good duel can also take the edge off. Then I go on a taxation tour to get an arrest warrant against my rivals, which I will declare war for in 5 years while I develop the rest of my kingdom. I always develop my capital instead of collecting taxes, because collecting taxes has no long-term benefit and your nation will be left behind. Then, a prayer to our Lord and Savior to get the approval of the clergy. Then a university visit to keep up to date on the newest studies in warfare, followed by an arranged marriage to keep my alliances safe. There is an idea of a Duke Edwin II, some kind of abstraction. But there is no real me, only an entity, something illusory. And though I can hide my cruel acts, and you can attend my feasts and feel a real sense of connection, and maybe you can even sense that our traits are complementary, I simply am not there. I have 1,862 hours in Crusader Kings III. To some, this means my opinion regarding the game is rather authoritative. To others, this means I have autism spectrum disorder. The truth is somewhere in between. What is Crusader Kings III? Or better yet, why is Crusader Kings III? Why? Because most of its players want to be great men of history but refuse to go to school because homework is hard. So they resort to roleplay, just like married couples when they have dogshit sex. In this case, a dogshit life. You play as any ruler across the known world. Enter a castle, enter your chamber, enter your maid. By mistake, you're only human after all. Crusader Kings is like many other Paradox games. You enter a bright-eyed boy, you leave a racist. With no direct goals, you are free to stare into the abyss that is free will. Then, judging by the average Crusader Kings playthrough, you will probably fuck your cousin. Enjoy the wonderful world of hosting feasts, hunting beasts, and killing priests. Wage wars across Europe. Watch as your empire grows. Then, watch it all burn because your son decided to drink himself to death. You want the intro to be done already? Too bad, you're here for another 20 minutes. You start your game by picking or making a character. You can pick from historical characters like Charles the Bald, or create completely fictional characters like a woman. You can choose to make a wide range of characters, from historical figures to a 100-year-old hunchback with cancer. Anything in between is fair game. Once you've picked a character and a region to play in, you will be greeted by the fact that you have no clue what you're doing. This is fine, as CK3 is said to be a story-driven game. This implies that the death of my infant son and my grandfather trying to have sex with me are in some way linked by an overarching narrative, but I don't buy that. While there is no victory condition, losing is very much still possible. As a ruler, if you have no direct heir of your dynasty to pass your titles off to, you will lose the game. This is easily avoidable by incest and infanticide. The main drive in this game was put bluntly by a Bosnian mentor of mine.
So in this game, you don't really have any goals. You choose what they are, how you start and end your character's journey. You can decide how your character gets to be remembered. You might choose to be the benevolent lord of the Northern Kingdom, or the conqueror of the East regions, or as the conqueror of your cousin's South regions. It's up to you. The game is very flexible. Same goes for your cousin. I guess it's...
This is as far as I got into writing this script before realizing I should stop making incest jokes. Let us carry on.
It is hot as hell in this foggy ass, hot ass room I'm in. Is that the real reason?
Once you've picked a goal, be it conquest or just generally chilling, you must now achieve that goal. Luckily for you, there is a wide range of tools at your disposal, including, but not limited to, warfare, espionage, murder, romance, theology, racial segregation, economics, wait what? With so many tools at your disposal, it isn't if, but how will you subject the world to your twisted desires. Generally speaking, a game of Crusader Kings is about the same thing as life, reading. You must, at all times, make sure you have a valid valid heir, no matter the cost. If you can either lose the game or put a sadistic inbred lunatic on the throne of the most powerful kingdom in the world, you best believe Caligula is back on the menu. Question: how do we prevent our enemies from destroying our dynasty? Simple, we outbreed them. Every child killed by our foes only leaves room for more, tougher children to take their spot. By the end of such Spartan views on infanticide, we will create an eternal dynasty, which will lead us into Hyperborean utopia. With no predetermined enemies, friends, or just a story in general, you will find stories naturally emerge. In one of my games, I kept finding myself the target of assassination attempts by a secret rival of mine. Turns out, my brother was jealous that he didn't inherit my kingdom and decided that killing his own brother, niece, and nearly his second niece was a great idea. His plans were thwarted by his 5-year-old niece and now orphan queen of Hungary who, upon becoming a 16-year-old, decided to react very mildly and appropriately by torturing him to death. With enemies on every corner, good relationships and strong allies can be the only thing that hold your dynasty and realm together. If you are to survive plagues and rivals alike, you must learn to play the game of diplomacy. Diplomacy in Crusader Kings III is like walking down a shady street in the town at night. One wrong move and you'll find yourself either stabbed to death or the leader of a heretical cult. Generally speaking, good relations are not that useful unless it is with 3 kinds of people. These are your wife, who, if you do not learn that it isn't about speed, but rather about technique, will kill you. Your powerful neighbors, who will passionately, gently, and with consideration that this is your first time, fuck you to death. And last but not least, your vassals, who will, no matter how many people you execute, no matter how many villages you depopulate, will always start a revolution. Back to diplomacy, there are many different ways to engage in it. You can sway those who dislike you, arrange marriages between the children of 2 dynasties. If you're Habsburging your way through this game, you may even arrange marriages within your dynasty. You can use your feminine charms to seduce someone, then use your girl boss powers to blackmail them. The options are varied. Even more varied if you paid $1 bajillion for the not mandatory unless you enjoy having fun DLC. More on that later. But diplomacy has a darker, more twisted side. For every friend you make, you also make an enemy. For people like that, you must use intrigue. Oh wow, they beat me to it. Looks like the son of Duke Edwin of Wessex was murdered. What was that noise? Don't worry about it. Intrigue is your primary tool to influence your enemies. If someone doesn't like you, they won't cooperate with you. If you caught them having gay sex with the Pope in medieval Europe, they may be a little easier to convince. Still can get them out of the way of your plans? Simple. We go down the diplomacy tree to the thoughtful perk. This allows us to gain opinion very quickly with our enemy. We also get the befriend perk, so we may get closer ties to them. With our 2 dynasties now happy with each other and cooperating, we might as well host a grand wedding between our children. The venue is perfect, everyone is happy, and then the next thing they know, their entire dynasty was just wiped out by a group of assassins paid by me. I forgot to mention, I got the accomplished forger trait too. This allows me to host bloody weddings. Either get out of the way of my dynasty or face the consequences. Nobody kills the heir of Wessex without consequences. But as it turns out, mass regicide is not a popular move to make, and we have just made a very large group of dynasties mad. As it turns out, by killing one person, you make all of their friends despise you. With diplomacy being far too ineffective to defuse this bomb, it is time for Duke Edwin of Wessex to drop the charade. We always wanted to kill each other, so let's get to it.
You never see it coming.
Problem! Duke Edwin of Wessex finds himself surrounded by enemies, both foreign and domestic. Solution? Kill them all. Crusader Kings III operates on an enlarged rock-paper-scissors based military system. Archers counter skirmishers, skirmishers counter heavy infantry counter spearmen, spearmen counter cavalry, and cavalry counter archers. So, do you need to care about any of that? No. Heavy cavalry is all you need. Don't bother with anything that isn't heavy infantry or heavy cavalry. As long as you have basic strategy like climbing a mountain may have negative effects on my soldiers, and maybe if I don't starve my army to death I have a better shot at winning, you'll be fine. Generally speaking, you have 2 valid paths to victory. If you outnumber your enemy, you flank and spank, they start acting like the good little enemies they know they should be. If you are outnumbered, not all hope is lost. The feat in detail was used by Napoleon to defeat coalition after coalition, and thusly, it will save your shitty CK3 game. The enemy needs supplies, as your army starving to death is, generally speaking, a tactic reserved for the communists. This means your enemy will spread their armies out into little bite-sized armies. Strike at an army that is too far part to be reinforced properly, preferably one that is sieging your lands, and you will stack your advantages enough to potentially win the encounter. If not, then let us take a lesson from the aforementioned communists. They are in your land. You will be able to reinforce much faster than they can. Due to this, continually attacking with the hit and run perk is a valid tactic used to slowly whittle down your enemy. Will thousands of your own men die in suicidal charge after suicidal charge? Yes, but do keep in mind, those Krauts never ended up taking Moscow. I used this strategy in one of my games once. As Duke of Cornwall, it may have taken me 8 years and thousands of men to repair the Norse invaders, but they never managed to take the single, undeveloped county that they were fighting for. There's a lesson in that. War isn't about winning, it is about losing less. But you aren't the only person who can turn the tides of war. If you play the diplomacy game right, you may have some powerful allies who can turn the tide of this conflict for good. Your allies, generally speaking, are useless on their own, but they make for great sacrificial lambs to the god of war. So don't feel bad about throwing them into unwinnable battles. Alliances can also be used to diffuse revolutions. With the right marriage, at the right time, a revolution can be made much weaker, or outright disbanded. Revolutions can also be kept at bay by dividing and conquering. If all your vassals want to install your mentally challenged, inbred cousin on your throne, you won't really have a choice. But if half your vassals want your cousin on the throne, and the other half wish for lowered crown authority, neither side will have enough strength to press their demands. If you are paying attention, you can see this tactic working very well in real life every time you enter a voting booth. But if your revolution still boils into open conflict while you're at war, well, it is time to choose your battles well. Choose a battle wrong and you'll be doing nothing but presenting yourself to the desires of your enemy. Choose the battles right and the roles are reversed, with your might enforcing your will on them. Now we come onto the tooth-pulling system that is the battle mechanic of Crusader Kings III. Terrain plays a huge part in the battle. Generally speaking, defending is good. Defending against the naval landing is and defending against the naval landing while your opponent is starving is a battle even a houseplant could win. Oh shit, cool that way. Whether or not you are an unwashed barbarian... Fuck, unwashed? What the fuck? Whether or not you are an unwashed barbarian also plays a role in combat. Generally speaking, you can get a huge boost by adopting the tribal government form. I do not know why being a backward savage is advantageous in combat, but this is Paradox we're talking about. They will probably release a DLC that fixes this problem soon enough. During a battle, your knights face off against the knights of your enemy. Your knights, at times, can even turn the tide of a battle, so do not ignore them. With enough bonuses, they can be the reason you win a conflict. It appears your second son and heir was brutally mauled by the enemy and has died on the battlefield. Unfortunate. Anywho, your revolution looks like it is becoming manageable, and your foreign enemies are actively retreating. You might actually win this thing. Oh lord, what now? Here, ladies and gentlemen, you will learn the important tactic of surrendering. Simply put, when the revolution wishes to depose you, or a foreign conqueror wants your land, you have no choice but to fight. But if a random Viking wishes to take a grand total of 1 county, while you're already fighting 2 fronts, it is time to recognize that dying for a county you can't even pronounce the name of isn't the best strategy. In conclusion, warfare is a pretty bare-bones system that, once you get the hang of, can become quite easy. But wars do not last forever. Once peace has been achieved, you must repair your broken nation. While diplomacy set the stage, and warfare was the strategy, it is economics and development that paid for it all. So let us discuss the inner workings of your realm. Your realm is made up of multiple sections. These include your faith, your culture, your holdings, your vassal contracts, and much more. In terms of your faith, you have some options. You enjoy community? There's a faith for that. You enjoy isolationism? There's a faith for that. You enjoy nudist colonies? There is a faith for that. Our Duke, Edwin of Wessex, is a Catholic. This means one thing. Every couple years or so, if you did your duty as a good Catholic, the Pope gives you a little allowance. Faith is an important element in this game, as it not only allows you to keep the loyalty of your more zealous vassals, but it can also be the justification your enemies use against you. You can make your own religions. Don't get too out of hand though. One wrong tenet can be the difference between a new world order rising and your faith being forgotten by history, so pick wisely. This also applies to your culture. While cultures can't just be picked between that easily, you may reform them or even diverge your own. With a divergence, you can pick the name. This is the biggest mistake Paradox Interactive has ever made. I'm not complaining. Regarding economics, it is quite simple. There is a single win button and 3 separate lose buttons, which when you press depends on your flavor flavor of mental illness. To put it simply, developing your capital is arguably the best long-term strategy for any realm. This also applies to reinvesting your gold into your holdings, but this comes with a teeny tiny little issue. What is it? Simple. My wife won't stop giving me sons. I suppose I can't help it. As a certain writer and food enjoyer put it well, the seed is strong. Isn't that a good thing? Isn't the goal to have as many heirs as possible? No, we want one good heir and a couple spares. If you have too many heirs, all your lands will be divided amongst your sons and your favorite child will be left with nothing. This will heavily weaken the income of the crown. Noticing your weakened state, your vassals will rebel because there are a bunch of unthankful, worthless parasites! And then you will find yourself back at war. If you want to stay strong, your son should be the only inheritor of all of your lands. There is no good way to put this. Little Edwin... Edwin? There is no good way to put this. Little Edwin the 3rd, 4th, and 5th will have to kick the bucket if your realm is to survive. It is for the best. Trust me. Yes, I am aware that the death of my son just caused a multi-year long conflict. I am also aware that I'm planning on killing my spare sons so my heir can inherit everything. How am I not a hypocrite? Simple. I never said I wasn't one. But who cares? Not like anyone will actually care about some video game children. I forgot to mention, unlike most Paradox games, in this game you directly control a character. This character can, in fact, go batshit insane. Those little noises you've been hearing? Yeah, those have been him slowly losing his mind. As it turns out, all your sons dying, some by our own hands, can cause anyone to go mad. You had a couple ways out of this. You could have become an alcoholic, for instance. You could have become more athletic. Or, and I am referring to the works of Paradox Interactive with no sarcasm, to prevent a psychotic break, just become a Jew. But now, we've fully broken down. What happens next? Well, there are multiple paths. You can go insane. You can kill people. You can simply rage quit and give up your crown. All of these are not good paths to go down, and so we must prevent this. How exactly do we do this? Let us ask our internet therapist, Healthy Gamer GG.
I don't think your parents love you. But I think we have to look at the mind.
What the fuck? Alright, let's just try alcohol and killing small creatures for pleasure. Feasts and hunts make up a vital aspect of empire management. In the age before therapy and VTubers, the average person only really felt calm staring at the bottom of a mug. You can also simply thug it out, so to say. One time, I was the king of Poland and had become stressed. I told him to thug it out. He then got even more stressed and I told him to thug it out. He then had a mental breakdown and died of stress. Clearly, the streets of Krakow aren't built for everyone. Pour one out, fucking Piotr of Poland. Back to Edwin. Truth be told, we didn't need to end up here, did we? I mean, did Edwin have to care about his children dying? Well, this game assigns you personality traits. This is because Paradox assumes that in real life you have none. These traits influence your stress, loss, or gain. Someone compassionate loses stress when they are treating others well and kindly. Someone sadistic loses stress running over his own friends. We all have our quirky lifestyles after all. These traits can have serious game impact, giving you special options in events, or potentially being the reason you have a psychotic episode. As for Edwin, it doesn't look good. All his sons are dead. His daughters will face an uphill battle establishing legitimacy. It turns out, his wife has been cheating on him all along as well. He is at his breaking point. Nothing matters anymore. Who was Duke Edwin of Wessex? How does his story end? Truth be told, viewer, who gives a shit? He was just another cog in the machine of destiny. Another pawn we, the player, used to get our inevitable goal. He was compassionate, an incompatible trait with our goal of unifying England. Where he fell, another will take his place, and the dynasty will continue. A stronger, tougher heir will take the throne, a distant cousin, and Edwin II of Wessex. Moral of the story, you don't play as the character in Crusader Kings III, you play as their intrusive thoughts. Welcome to Crusader Kings III. Ooh. I don't want to read that. Oh boy, the critique. Firstly, this is a Paradox game. That means that the base game costs you a fortune and then the actual game costs well over hundreds more. And thus, I cannot tell you to buy this game. Should you buy it? No. Should you play it? Yes, it is very fun. How would you go about this paradoxical issue? I don't know. I just work here. Now, do I seriously advocate for piracy? Another issue is that the game seems to ignore the fact that it is called Crusader Kings and refuses to update either the feudal system, crusades, or just Europe in general. You heard that right. Excluding DLC, which don't even add that much, the feudal system or crusades, the central aspects of this game, have gotten little to no attention. What has gotten attention? China. For some reason, Paradox saw everyone complaining about the feudal system and thought, how long should I wait? No. How long should I wait until I add China to Crusader Kings III? None? I'll add it now. Good luck, everybody else. I'm calling it now. Either the next update will be a shitty Republics update or add nothing people actually want, such as trading, secret societies, actual game thefts, proper crusades, varied kingdoms, realistic legitimacy, feudalism, and so much more. Don't get me wrong, this is a good game, but it is only playable if you either started years ago or if you won the lottery. As for some Discord comments, I want to say something important. This video was made in honor of the birthday of one of my day one fans, Suchiro. I know I'm late in saying this, but happy birthday. This one's for you, my guy. In other news, a random man in my Discord channel said Crusader Kings III would have been a 10 out of 10 if I was allowed to kill my own babies. Moving on, in conclusion, good game, greedy company, a tale as old as time. For those of you that made it this far into the video, leave a message ending with a smiley face. That way, I know who the real ones are. That is all, until my next inevitable upload, ciao!